What was it like walking into this place this morning?
Different. I got a little bit of a feel for it, the Four Nations, what it's like coming in, not as a home team. So I wasn't as uncomfortable as I was walking in that day, but definitely still a different feeling.
What has the last 4 days been like for you in terms of just kind of getting a breath, so to speak?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a whirlwind. Obviously never gone through it before, so I really didn't know what to expect. But you know, there's a lot that you don't really think about. You know, you kind of get down there and you're trying to really get to know guys and build relationships and find a place to live, get to know the area. I'm obviously hurt, so I'm trying to do treatment and spend a lot of time trying to get back and you know, and then just figuring out the family dynamic and everything from back home, and obviously, you know, mourning the situation as well. So there's a lot that goes with it, but you know, I think the thing that I take away from it the most is you know, you don't realize how fortunate you are sometimes. I mean, there's guys that go through this every single year, and I actually feel terrible about the lack of understanding that I've had for guys in the past, the situations that have come or gone. And I have a completely new respect and for guys that deal with that a lot. And you know, I just wish in the past I had more empathy or understanding for what guys were going through when they came to our team or when they were leaving our team. So you know, I don't wish I had this opener back before, but I just yeah. So anyway, that was one of the biggest takeaways that I had from this situation, and it's a new experience. But you know, I also feel very fortunate. Like I don't look at this job as real life. You know, we're so fortunate to play a game for a living and do something we absolutely love, and you know, you work for a couple hours a day doing something you grew up doing and you only dreamt, you know, only in your wildest dreams you'd be able to do for a job. You know, so I guess sort of the worst situation that I thought that I'd go through, not being in Boston, ended up being an incredible opportunity to go to, you know, what I have thought from day one this season was the top contending team and the toughest team that I thought we played against this year. And I still get to do what I love, and I get to live in an incredible place and play a game for a job. So, you know, it's obviously disappointing, but I'm still so grateful for the opportunity that I'm provided every day.
Yeah, just what was it like to walk back in here today in a different jersey, you know, be out there on the ice and all that?
Well, that was the biggest thing for me today. That's the first time I put the jersey on.
Yeah.
First time I got to go on the ice with the guys, and it's been a little bit different in that sense where, you know, I've been with the group. They had a day off, and I could practice with them. We traveled, so it's good to spend some time with the guys on the plane. But you know, that was the first time I got to go on the ice, so still felt weird and odd kind of being out there. So you know, understanding new drills and the way you guys are out there. So you know, that's a big part of it. You get into a routine with guys, and even guys that aren't on your line, you learn to play with because of the way you practice with them, and you learn their tendencies. So you know, I just try to figure that all out again, and so a different dynamic on the ice. But it was great to get out there with them and start that process. But yeah, I mean, definitely coming in here and even the way that they do their meetings and warm up and all that stuff, it's just an adjustment. You know, you learn and you kind of just follow suit, but it definitely is just different from your day-to-day routine that you get into, especially after being here for 16 years. It's always been the same. But again, it's an exciting chapter, and you just kind of you learn as you go. Once you get back in the mix full time, start playing games, and it just kind of runs smooth.
Brad, too, if I could, we didn't get to talk to you that afternoon in Pittsburgh when you got injured. So could you just sort of go through what happened there and where are you in terms of recovery?
Yeah, I went to like kind of turn up in the boards, and you know, it was a bit of an unfortunate play. He came to hit me, and as he did, he kind of poked my back skate out, so I didn't have any balance as I was going over boards. Yeah, and I just kind of got crunched. Everything kind of, you know, got hurt. But you know, today was the first day I was on the ice. It felt okay. Definitely still a little bit that I got to get through here. I mean, I wasn't sure if I was even going to stay with the team today. I just thought I'd go on a little bit before and try to shoot. It felt okay, so I figured I'd stay out there. But you know, it's not good when you step on a puck first rep and crash in the boards. But you know, it happened, and it was great to go there.
Do you figure a couple of weeks with that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't really know. They kind of said like 3 to 4 to 6 weeks originally.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that it gets to a point where it's healed and it's pain management. So I'm not really sure. I know I definitely couldn't play right now. So just kind of work through it day to day.
And the other side of things, you've got little kids. How do you explain what's happened to little kids?
Yeah, try to be upfront. I mean, 3-year-old, we don't really have to talk to. She's going to go wherever. 7-year-old gets, you know, try to talk to her and explain it in terms she would get, but I don't think the concept of time really stays with her, or she really understands. She's obviously disappointed, but I think she'll probably feel it more next year than right now. They're all going to stay here anyway. So I think the biggest change will be next year, whereas, you know, obviously I'll be away for a little while, but they'll be able to kind of travel back and forth on spring breaks and whatever long weekends, whatever it is. But yeah, I think the biggest change for them is next year, and she doesn't really get that. So yeah, we'll deal with that down the road.
I know you said you had no ill will towards the Bruins organization, but has that chapter closed for you?
I mean, I can't. I don't know, I guess is how I would respond. I don't know what the future brings in terms of how it plays out in the summertime. I know, you know, it didn't come together now. Can things change down the road? Potentially, but that's to be seen. So, you know, I'm sure we'll have a conversation down the road, but I don't know where that goes. So, I mean, obviously I would still love, like, it doesn't change my love for the city, and the will to want to be here has never changed. I don't think that it will ever change. You know, it's just whether you can, at a meeting of the minds, and kind of come together. But
What's your message to Bruins fans maybe that are upset?
You gonna make me do this right now?
To Bruins fans that are upset that you got traded, what's your message to them? Sorry to make you do this.
I mean, I think for the Bruins fans, you know, oh man, this sucks.
Sorry, bud.
No, it's all right. You know, I think for me, my biggest thing is when I look at the situation is we were an incredible team for a very long period of time, and if you look at, yeah, maybe we haven't achieved everything that we wanted to throughout that time, but you know, you give up a lot in those runs, and you give up a lot to go on those runs team-wise, you know, picks and prospects, and it gets to a point where it catches up to you, and but the job and the will to win is there every single year, and I think the management has done an incredible job every year of trying to make us a competitive team and try to give us an opportunity to win. We knew there was a window, and you know, we maxed that out. You know, we had our opportunity a couple years ago and we fell short. You know, we definitely dropped the ball on that one. That was our year, and they went all in years leading up to that and that season. And you know, when you look at an opportunity like that, it doesn't come along very often. And they did everything they could to put us in a position to succeed. And ultimately, it was on the players. We didn't do our jobs and didn't come through when we had to. You know, we get through Florida in that round. I think that's our year. But it unfortunately didn't work out. and, you know, like I said, eventually, you know, decisions have to be made that are tough, and I think they had their right intentions. I'm not gonna get into the details on everything, but they tried to do what was best for the team, and also give me an opportunity to stay if I wanted to. And you know, they put a position on the table that they felt was fair in that regard, but also understanding that it may be time to kind of reset and go in a different direction. And I think they were at a crossroads as well, where they wanted to do right by me, and also, you know, had to make sure that they do their jobs and do it in the best interest of the group. And so, I mean, I don't have ill will. Like, I get the business side of it. I've been around a very long time. I've seen the way it goes all the way through, not just our team, but other teams. And eventually, like, they're the best in the world at what they do, and they're extremely committed to winning, and that never gets lost on me. Like, I want to win, and you know, I'm a competitor, and the guys in that office are competitors, and you know, they want to win, and they're not going to go down the path of building losing teams. So, you know, they are doing what they feel is right to build for a bright future when they have a young core, and you can't get upset about those things. Like, yeah, I would have, you know, loved, and it would have been incredible to have that fairy tale ending, but they're doing what's right for the guys in the room. You know, they can't choose one guy over the 20 guys, and, you know, frankly, the millions of people that support the team. You know, you owe it to the guys that are on term here, that are young, and the guys that just signed, and you know, the organization to build a cup contending team, and so that's what I mean. Like, I don't get lost on all of that. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the management and the ownership, and everybody involved in this organization, and that's why, you know, you want to come here, because they just want to win, and they'll do what it takes, and they're okay to make tough decisions if that's what it means, and that's their job. So it's not a personal thing. I never let it get personal. It's obviously more personal for me than it is for anybody, I think, making the decisions, but it's still personal for them too, where we all have relationships, and I'm sure it hurts to have to make that decision, but it's not going to change the way that you know, the relationships I have with them away from the business side of it. So, I mean, I'm rambling here, but I have a long answer. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say, because you know, for a very long time, they've put our team in a position to contend and to win. And that's all you want as a player.
Brad, how would you compare the style of play between the Panthers and the Bruins? And do you think you'll be expected to change your style of play, you know, to fit?
You don't think that my style of play fits into that?
I'm asking you, what do you?
Yeah, I don't think I have to change to fit their game. I think I've played that way for my entire career. They play a competitive, hard style. They play simple. They compete at the highest level, and you know, they're winners. They want to win. They sacrifice. They do what it takes, and so I'm really excited to get out there and compete at that level again. I think they're built very deep. You know, I look at some of the best teams I've ever played on. They're built like that, where they're just deep all the way through. They get great skill. They're physical, great goaltending, and there's, you know, you don't see many holes, that's for sure. So it's exciting.
Having worn the C on the jersey and whatnot, how do you see your role evolving now with the Panthers? Your coach was just sitting here talking about how he just wants you to come in and have fun and do a little less.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I plan on doing. When you're part of a team like this, everyone has leadership qualities. Everybody, you know, how many guys need to be led? Like, pretty self-sufficient. They're all dialed in their details and in the way they prepare and their confidence in the practicing on the ice, and just watching how guys do things. Like they're all legit pros, and when you do that, there's not a whole lot you really need to do leadership-wise. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just you go and that's kind of what I do. I like to have fun, enjoy myself, and I don't plan on changing that. Excuse me. So yeah, I'll just probably try to be the same and have fun. You don't get to be part of teams like this very often. They're like I said, incredibly deep, and the way they compete and how hard they work, it's a rare combination. So I'm really gonna enjoy it and take the most of it. I think the longer you get in your career, the more you play, you realize how special certain groups are, and you really want to take advantage of those opportunities. And I'm looking forward to this one.
I guess to follow up on that, you come from a place where you were 16 years and a captain and one of the few guys in the ring, and now you go to a place where
You guys cold in here?
It's a rock hard. You go into a room like this and you're not even playing right now. Is there any thought about toning the personality down so that you can fit in and kind of do this?
Why would I do that? No, I mean, I think that's just me. I wouldn't be able to do that anyways. You get some good personalities in that group, and I know a bunch of guys in the team already, and I think the personality is how you get to know the guys that you don't know. I think that's one of the things is like I'm pretty easygoing. I feel like I can talk to anybody, and that's how you build connections and chemistry. So no, I don't plan on toning it. Do you think I need to tone it down? No, my wife does. So yeah, I'm just gonna be me.
Brad, was there a point this season where you or the whole Bruins team sensed that maybe some big changes could be coming?
I mean, I think we're not naive. I think you can kind of see the way things are going. Anytime you don't achieve what you're expected to, or what you set out to, they're going to make changes. And I mean, ultimately changes come when you're doing well too. Whether you're going to try to add or subtract, changes need to be made. And unfortunately, when it's not going the way you want it to, they're usually bigger. So yeah, I mean, I think we saw and like the potential for the change that was going to come, and we talked about it. We tried to stop it. We couldn't. Like it just seemed like every time we tried to do the right things and to change course, it wouldn't come together for us. And unfortunately, sometimes things like that happen, and you try to control it. You try to do whatever you can, and it just seemed like everything that could go against us would go against us. I mean, you look at the goal in Carolina, it's like you can't plan that stuff, and you feel like you're trying to do the right things, and everything that can go wrong in that moment goes wrong. And then when that happens, they have to make changes, try to make sure that it doesn't, because if you don't, then you could potentially go on the same course 2 years in a row, and that's a bigger problem. So yeah, I mean, we knew there's potential for things like this to happen, and unfortunately it did.
And you felt like there was a potential you could be part of that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it came to the point where I'm not going to get into a conversation, but yeah,
right.
I knew that it was potential.
Brad, what does it mean?
More in the back and then 2 over here.
Brad, what does it mean to you that guys on the Bruins now are talking about wanting to continue the culture that you helped build, that they want to extend something that you had a role in starting, to know that even though you're not there anymore, that there's a piece of you behind?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can take credit for being one of the guys that started. I think when you come to this organization, what was so special about it is you knew about the culture and you saw it when you got here, and you just bought in. And the guys that didn't buy in, left and they brought you guys in that would buy in, and that's what made this organization so competitive for so long. You know, and I came in and I bought in because you see the success you can have when you do, and you know, you come in and guys are like, man, this is hard. This is, you know, you gotta work every day at this, and it's exhausting, and a lot of guys can't do it. But if you do, and you see the growth that you can have as a team and also individually, I mean, it's worth it, you know, to give yourselves an opportunity to compete for a cup every year, and to grow as a player, and that's one of the biggest things that I took out of it was like, you know, the guys that last 15, 20 years are not the guys that are just talented and, you know, kind of go, it's the guys that work at another level, and you see the guys that do that. Like, I remember when I first days watching Mark Reck, he was 82 years old, doing sprints on the treadmill after game, you know, and I'm eating a slice of pizza. I'm like, wow, I might need to change a few things here, but you know, and those are the cultures that you want to be part of when guys come in and they just work together, because they make fun environments too. When you're competing and you're working at the highest level, it just creates fun because you know you're not doing anything wrong, and you know, you're pushing each other to get better, and you're having success when you have that, and it makes it fun coming to the rink every day. And I'm not surprised that guys want to continue that because they know it's the recipe for success. You know, if you want to win, you have to do that, and it's something we take a lot of pride in that room. You know, we took a lot of pride in, and you know, I'm not surprised that, you know, I watch those guys for a long time, and they come in and, you know, they want to do it, and some see the way those young guys are working in the gym and stuff like that. You know, they're gonna do it. I believe they can.
Brad, nice to see you again.
Me too.
I think your experience with Ford, obviously playing for a new team for the first time, might change this, and without getting into like, you know, what you left with the Bruins, but when you're considering the summer where you want to go, what are the most important factors? Is it term, so you can be in the NHL for a long time? Is it a nice place for your family to make sure they live? Like, what teammates that you're gonna have, contenders? Like, what are the most important things?
Yeah, way to put me on the spot on that one.
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
You know, I haven't thought much about it, if I'm being very frank. You know, it's one of those things that, I mean, I'm sure my family will think about it a lot here over the next little while. You know, I think there's a lot of different things. I mean, you want to be, again, like, you want to try to win. It's hard these years, like this right now, because there's so many good teams, and there's so many teams that could be good over the next few years. So, you know, I don't know. Honestly, you're kind of stumping me because there's a lot of different things that I would look at. I know the term was the biggest thing for me always. So, you know, that's probably first and foremost, and then after that, there'll be a lot of things that come into play, but that's gonna be a much larger discussion with the family to see the things that, because, you know, I care more about how they feel in this moment than I do. You know, when you change teams, like, we're at the rink every day, we're traveling a lot, so they're gonna bear a lot of the load on where we're at and relocating and their day-to-day life. So, you know, it'll be a lot about where they want to be and the things that they're looking for. So we'll have those conversations down the road. Right now, the only thing that I'm worried about is you know, the hopefully long run that we can that we're going to try to go on here.
Brad, have you been able to talk to David Pasternak and Charlie McAvoy, and what are your thoughts on their ability to now make the Bruins?
Yeah, I talked to Pasta. I've talked to Chuck. He's tried to reach out a couple times, and I talked to him there. We're gonna link up here today. But you know, been with Pasta a long time. Seen him go from, you know, a little boy to one of the best players in the world. It's been incredible to see. But they both lead in different ways, and I think they're, you know, especially together, the way I look at that is like a Brady type thing where, you know, they're co-leaders where they have different things that different ways they can lead, and but you know they've been around, they've seen it, and you know the way that Z and Bergie have you know built that culture and what's expected every single day. So complete faith in those guys to carry on, you know, that culture and legacy and continue to add to it, not just carry it, but you know, you got to leave it better than you found it. And that's one thing that especially with the term those guys are on, and how young they are, I think they have a great opportunity ahead of them to kind of carve their own path and build a legacy that they're excited about and lead the way that they want to. That's what Z did when he came in, is he had an idea of how he wanted to lead and how he wanted to change things, and he put it in motion. And then Bergie came in, and the two of them just took over and did their thing. So those guys have that opportunity to do the same thing now.
Brad, Bruins fans have kind of tried to rationalize you leaving with, okay, we're making a draft pick down the road, so he'll help us out, and he'll be back at some point in the future. But it feels like what you're saying is that you kind of feel like the Bruins and you were on kind of divergent paths. You're going in different directions. There's a chance you're coming back. And how would you categorize what that chance, you know, looks like?
I can't categorize it. We haven't talked about it, so you know, those are I don't know the way that stuff works, but again, I don't know what our future holds, what's going to happen here. You know, whether it's here or somebody else, I don't know. You know, this is enough for me to try to figure out and deal with in the meantime. You know, I can't speak to what's going to happen 4 or 5 months down the road. So, you know, we'll kind of look at everything here moving forward. But I don't think it's something that I can worry about right now. I mean, when you have an opportunity like this in front of you, you can't waste a day. I learned that the hard way a couple years ago when we had the best season ever, and we just thought we were going to be in the finals. And you know, you waste the day, you start looking ahead, you start worrying about things that are not in your immediate future. It can pull you away from what you need to do and to accomplish, you know, the goal here and now. So I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to worry about it till the time comes. It's not going to change anything in the moment or anything that's happened. So, like I said, I'm extremely excited to be part of this group, and you know, I after the run we had a couple years ago, I never thought I'd see a team like that again, or be part of a team like that again, and I am. You know, we're on a team built very similar, and I'm not going to squander that opportunity again. So I'm going to enjoy this moment. I'm going to love, the guys are awesome. They've been incredible so far, and welcome me with open arms. You know, so I'm just going to enjoy getting to know them all, being their teammates, and going to battle with them here soon. That's all I can worry about. So I'm not going to, you know, I can't even think about, you know, what's going to happen down the road.
Brad, you talk about the group. I saw you out there with Mark a bit this morning. Obviously, since Patrice retired, the baton was kind of passed to him as the top two-way guy.
Yeah.
How excited are you to play with him and kind of learn what makes him tick as that guy?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm going to play with him. I just told Maurice if I'm going out there today, Rhino's not allowed on the ice. I'm taking his spot. So he, and I don't think Rhino morning skates or something like that. I'm not really sure, but they just threw me up there because he wasn't on the ice. But just watching him, I mean, and playing against him, he's so incredible. The way he's so skilled. You know, very, very sound defensively. Every aspect of his game. You know, he is another Bergie in that sense, and it's a lot of fun to be playing with him than against him. You know, he's one of those guys that can make you pay at any time on the ice. He's always holding on to pucks you can't take from him. He's so big and strong. He can score. He makes plays. You know, he defends the rush well, power play. Like, he does it all. There's not many guys that are like that. So he's, you know, obviously the best two-way player in the game here now, and huge reason why Florida has become the powerhouse that they have is because of him. And It's not just the on-ice stuff, but you hear the way the guys talk about him off the ice, and just watching him, the way he trains and eats and takes care of himself. Like, there's a reason why he's the best two-way player in the game now, and it's his details. And you know, those things don't happen by accident.
Thank you guys. Thanks for